right, everybody, here's time for something a little bit different.
Hey, y'all know who it is. It's your favorite concerned correspondent, the Gov here.
More votes can shift and transform our nation.
Governor feels pain. He's a human. Hey, y'all know who it is and what it is. It's your favorite concerned correspondent, VA the Gov here. Super excited about today's episode. We got none other than Jeff Livingston. He's running for House District 22 here in the Springs. Listen to his concerns. See what's motivating him to run for local office. Remember, here on the Concerned Citizen podcast, we speak freely. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let's go. Y'all know who it is and what it is. It's your favorite concerned correspondent, the Gov here. I am super excited. We're here with another episode of the Concerned Citizen, and I have none other than Jeff Livingston in the building. He's running for House District 15? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Where, for those that may not know, where is that located exactly?
Sure thing. So House District 15 is everything east of Powers and south of Woodman on all the way down to about Fontaine, somewhere in there.
So you represent the east side of Powers,
Mm-hmm.
south of, again, where?
So east of Powers, south of Woodman.
East of Powers, south of Woodman. So this is the man to know, and we're going to get into his concerns. So like I do everyone who is on the show, let me get my mic right here. I ask everyone, if the listener or the viewer could not see you, how would you describe yourself to them?
I would describe myself as a 5'9" African-American male.
Okay.
I guess I would also say that I'm a person who tends to lean towards the most efficient way to take care of myself. So my hair is literally, I just wash it and leave. My beard is trimmed, but not like super fancy or anything. That's just my aesthetic, I guess.
Okay. That's understandable. And so, if there was something that you could point to when you were a child, maybe that happened to you, maybe something that you've seen or you encountered or endured that helped shape your perception of reality now, what would it be?
I believe my most formative experience happened when I was a kid. And I got my first Lego set.
Okay.
It wasn't even necessarily the Lego set because I had a lot of different donated toys that my mom picked up from wherever. But this one was different because it was the first time I interacted with something and I could actually change it, mold it, like sculpt it to what I wanted it to be. And that kind of inspired me to want to be an engineer. So, yeah.
That was my next question. So, are you the engineer type, would you say?
I am the engineering type, but I am a little bit atrocious at math. So I ended up studying electrical engineering.
Okay.
Well, sorry, I studied mechanical engineering, then I studied electrical engineering, and neither of those things fit me mathematically, I suppose. So I ended up joining the Army and becoming a satellite communications specialist. So very mathy and fun, but not as, I guess, math heavy as what engineering was.
Oh, okay. Satellites is a big game nowadays.
Absolutely.
Now, between the time you were growing up and you went into the military to now, did you ever encounter homelessness at all?
So I never, like, this is one of those things that I am deeply privileged in, is my mother was very uh, dogmatic about making sure that we were taken care of. That meant we always had a roof over our head. We always had food and shelter, although not necessarily always enough food, but just we lived in a way that I never got to experience homelessness. But I did through my friends, several friends in college specifically, get to understand what that life was because they would experience it themselves. In the case of one young lady that was one of my good friends, and they encouraged me to actually volunteer at like homeless shelters and things like that. So
Yeah, that's a growing thing that we see here in America. It's just a homelessness situation. So now, now that you're an adult, when you think about your adulthood, is there an event that you could point to that you could say, man, me going through this or me seeing this really helped shape how I see life now, or even motivated you to run for office?
so I had a double whammy. So first thing was that I got married, um, probably younger than I should have, just because of the fact that in love, all that kind of jazz. Still love her to this day. She is my wife, my joy, my all. She taught me how to be in a relationship. That shift made all the difference when it comes to how I interact with people. Um, all over again, had to relearn how to interact with the world when I had kids. Um, how to be a parent, how to be firm, but how to be fair as well. I have two girls, so that requires a lot of dedication and compassion to raise them in a way that uh, lets them know what they are worth. So it was just back to back life lessons that shaped who I am today. And actually, I ran because I am trying to build a better world for them, and I realize that can only happen if I build a better world for everyone. So
That makes sense. That is a good reason to do this. Now, in going through the ups and downs that you encounter being in the army and now husband and father, have you ever wrestled with the darkness of mental illness at all?
like specifically, are we allowed to say suicide?
Yeah.
Okay, so like specifically suicide and things like that. Um, Another deep privilege that I've thanked God for every day is that my mother always kind of drilled into us what our self worth was. Weeping only endures for a night, and so I always understood like I'm going to be something, and if I take myself out of the equation, then that's that gift that is taken from the world. It's not my place to remove my purpose from the world without being part of something big. So yeah, I've never had the thoughts of suicide, but I have generally struggled with the ability to realize my potential, and that has kind of been one of those things that I struggle with. But yeah, I've been really fortunate in that I've never really ever thought of suicide.
Are you a man of faith?
Oh, 100%. Yep, born and raised in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. That is a whole nother bag of cats. But while I no longer am actively going to church right now, I still identify as Seventh-day Adventist.
Understand. Now, what are your top concerns? What are your top 3 to 5 concerns when you look around and you see what's going on around you?
So the first thing that I notice in the world is that people are honestly growing up in a world where their parents were unaware of the potential power that they hold as citizens of the country or as people of the world. Like, there's a lot of self-doubt and downtroddenness that has kind of filled everything. I'm really terrible at conveying it, but it's like a heavy, like, mist or like some kind of I don't know, like a, yeah, we'll say a
Yeah,
cloud,
yeah,
a cloud over.
Yeah, you know, I agree with that. So I'm from the South,
Mhm.
and when I go back to the South, the climate, the culture, you feel the heaviness of what I call like a sense of oppression.
Mhm.
Like you feel it's not the humidity, but you feel like, something's not right here.
Something's heavy and it sticks to you.
And
Yeah.
it sticks to you. And like I didn't really understand it till I like got out here, the difference and how people interact with one another, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there are some things that are still behind closed doors, but again, the nature of the deepness of it, I guess, is not there. So I definitely see how those things are changing because the mindset of the people and what's going on globally, the people feel it.
Right. I feel like that heaviness has kind of changed the way we raise the next generation in a way that sets them up to not know what power they have. I want to change that first and foremost when I get into office, just recognizing, helping people recognize their power and what they have as far as the ability to do. We're starting to kind of relearn that now that Trump is in office and all kinds of stuff is happening around his candidacy or his presidency that people aren't necessarily down with. You see a lot more organizing and voting and things like that that are positive steps. But yeah, that heaviness was there for the longest time, and I was worried that we would never get out of that situation. Second thing that I noticed is in Colorado specifically, there's like a real issue with housing. There's even a stigmatization over the term affordable housing. Like I spoke in front of like a group at a library, the PPLD library.
Mm-hmm.
They clapped, they applauded, whatever, they liked the speech. They came up to me afterwards. One of the young ladies, I probably shouldn't put her name out there, but yeah, she came up to me afterwards like, yeah, I loved everything you had to say except for this one piece. Like the words affordable housing makes people think certain things, demographically, whatever, what have you. And so I've been trying to figure out a way to convey that idea without, I guess, throwing people off. Right size housing seems to be a good fit for that, but like building houses specifically for purposes that are descript. Like instead of building 100 houses that are all the same, 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 rooms or whatever, we build one 4-bedroom house, one 2-bedroom house, one 6-bedroom house, that kind of thing. Like building specifically for the communities and what they need. So I have termed that right size housing, but I don't know if that's going to change at some point or another. But yeah, noticing that trend of people not wanting affordable housing near them is another big thing that I noticed that I'm less than thrilled about. Third thing, they are trying to kill unions. Unions are the bedrock of making life for a working person livable. The 40-hour work week, the time off for parents, that kind of stuff, all those things came about because of labor unions. And now politics has been able to change the way people perceive unions as some kind of negative thing because they know that the people that are paying them are invested in the idea of making sure that unions don't have the power to do anything. That's been another big thing that's been bothering me as well. And then last but not least, of course, schooling. Teaching is drudgerous in pretty much every part of the country. And the biggest part of that is the fact that teachers not only don't make enough to live where they teach, they also dig into their own pockets to pull out money to buy school supplies. My history teacher in high school was a fantastic example of this. She made learning fun in ways that we did not understand the cost of until there was a day where we were like, hey, why are you like down? Why are you sad? And she told me how she had lost her home. That was another situation where I've been adjacent to but not actually experiencing homelessness. She fought so hard for making sure she was a good teacher that she neglected the outside world, the world outside of school. And I feel like there should be no way that a teacher goes through that. I feel like teachers should be like NBA players, like superstars. We are paying them what they are worth. And that's another thing that I'm not a fan of. It's just the heaviness of teaching and how taxing it is when it doesn't have to be.
You know, as a citizen, it's good to hear like a candidate that is mindful enough to put themselves in other people's shoes, to imagine the stresses of other people, because I think that makes for a good candidate. I think that makes for a good leader. So it's just great to hear that. That's very refreshing. So if there was something that you could fight and die for outside of your family, what would it be?
So this is gonna sound odd at first, so stick with me here.
Okay.
The only thing that I would die for is my family, but family is a term that encompasses so much more to me than just the people that I live with and live around and raise and things like that. It encompasses my community. It encompasses my state, my country. I believe the world is my family. And so if I am not willing to fight and die for, the world as it exists, then, there's nothing else. Like, family is first, family is everything, and I believe that the world is my family. So, yeah, I know that's a weird way to put it, but
no, because it gives insight into how you view others. You don't view others or people that you build relationships as outsiders. You build them as, you represent them as being someone in your family. So
right.
That's enlightening.
Friends are strangers are just friends you haven't met yet, is what I believe the phrase was. I'm an anime fan, so that came straight out of an anime. I apologize, but yeah.
What's your favorite anime?
Oh man, I can give you a top 5.
Okay.
So my absolute favorite anime is one called Code Geass. It revolves around a kid whose dad is the king. The king allows his mom to get murdered, and he feels some kind of way about that. And so he basically goes on a crusade to topple the nation and change the way it works.
Okay.
I love that anime mostly for the writing, but the characters are really fun too. I am a huge fan of, I guess more recently, the Demon Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another really good one. Let's see. Yeah, oh my gosh.
Give me one more. Can you give me one more?
Well, I got like 4 more. I'm trying to be good. So Inuyasha is another good one that I appreciated for just the overall storytelling and the the outsider story that was Inuyasha. I am a fan of all things Dragon Ball. I'm a fan of all things Neon Genesis. Yeah, the social commentary of Neon Genesis specifically, just top notch. It's disturbing in a way that makes you think, and I'm always down for an anime that does that. Attack on Titan. How long do you have today? I could go on for a minute.
Now, was that heavily influenced by your time that you spent in Korea?
No, actually, I've been a fan of anime since Cartoon Network Toonami, man. Like I watched an anime about people that were abusing cybernetic implants, the drugs that are in cybernetic implants that they had to use to stabilize their arms, whatever. I watched a movie that talked about the social commentary of drug abuse and how it affects people and things like that. I was a weird kid, but that anime introduced me to the concept of there being a wider world out there, like something that is beautiful and flawed, and something that can be changed for the better if you just go out there and do it. So yeah, all the way back in middle school, elementary school, I've been watching anime, and it just kind of now became cool. So
I like that because my kids like anime, so shout out to the kids for that one. So if there was a lasting message that you could leave to the people, what would it be?
Know your power and be led by those who respect that.
Hold on. Know your power and say the second part.
And only be led by those who respect that power.
No, that's heavy. Could you kind of elaborate on what you would like people to take from that?
So, as has been the case for way longer than I've been alive, people are resilient and powerful, strong, able to adjust, very adaptable. That is just human nature. There are pieces of the human condition that allow exploitation.
Right.
And the people in power today use those things to tell us that we are less than, that we are not worth the time or the energy, that we should just sit down and be quiet and do what they say because they know better. Elon has to be the most brilliant guy because he has the most money. That kind of foolishness is what I plan to fight against as a representative. I want people to know that they have the power to do anything if there are enough people that believe that fact. That's just basically believe in your power and make it happen.
I agree, and that's one thing that I see. I see a world where we need to believe in ourselves to be able to do what is right. So, man, it's been awesome to have you here. Now, there's so much going on right now in the world. Is there any one thing that's really catching your attention that you're keeping an eye on?
Well, there's the obvious thing, the Iraq-Iran situation. I am, as a service member, as a retired veteran, I am always interested in the patterns that come along as a result of wars that we get into. I'm watching it closely now because I see this whole rumors of a draft thing happening and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. I don't necessarily have a lot of direct control over that because I'm a state level representative, but I do keep that conflict in my mind and keep up to date on it because I realize that the implications of this conflict could be so wide-reaching that it could encompass the world. It could affect my family. So,
if you had a choice on this, if it came down to a state level, and you can, I'll give you an offer. If you can say you don't, you could decline the answer.
Sure.
But if it came down to a state level choice of whether or not to initiate some sort of drive, would you support it?
Absolutely not.
Perfect. Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to say it like that. But I mean, to what end have we gotten ourselves into this situation?
Yeah, besides the fact that we've forgotten our power, we've forgotten that we are all in this thing together. At the end of the day, this planet is all we got. The people in it are all the resources, all of the imagination, all of the innovation that we will ever have. Cutting that off, like ending people's lives for the sake of a dollar, for the sake of profiting one's self, can only mean that things progressively get worse. As you have noticed over the course of time, we are more and more desperate for something that is not scary or bad in the world. It's really becoming dire to understand that power. It always comes back to, we are stronger than we think we are. We are better than we think we are. We are more capable than what they are telling us we are. And so moving forward in that knowledge is, I think, the best way to heal the divides in between countries, between individuals. All of that stuff is just a matter of understanding who you are and what you can bring and what other people around you can bring.
And speaking of bringing to the table, before we started, I was talking to you about a local issue. For those that don't know, Colorado has a very unique taxing arrangement. And so, is it true today you were in Denver working to address that? Is that correct?
Correct. So I was in Denver for a protest for what is called graduated taxation. They are trying to make the poorest of us pay less and the richest of us pay more. That is not a crazy concept or idea. It is actually how most states besides Colorado work. And so bringing us up to date with what the rest of the country is doing is more or less the drive of this bill.
Again, wanting to figure out ways that we can address shortfalls, and you standing and representing people. And then it's important for people to understand that for the majority of people in this bill, people would either pay the same in taxes or their taxes would go down. People who made over a certain amount, their taxes may go up a few percentage points. But that would actually bring Colorado, like you said, up to modern day.
Correct. It's so basically everybody that makes more than $500,000 has a tax increase to look forward to, but that increase is not something that is going to stifle their ability to survive. I am a satellite communications technician, which makes a decent amount of money. I cannot even fathom the amount of money that $500,000 is. And so taxing those people that have such high levels of security in their life that they're not going to miss $1,000 more per year, it makes so much sense. It's surprising to me that we haven't gotten there yet.
Well, we got the initiate. What is the word that I'm looking for? It's a ballot initiative, correct?
Yeah. So it's a ballot initiative. They are trying to put it on the upcoming election ballot. So
in April or in November? Okay.
Correct.
Well, you hear it first. They're working to change things here in Colorado. Now, is there anything that you want to leave with the people before you go? I mean, we know that you're running for House District 15.
Correct.
You're doing it for the people. before we got on, he made it a point to let me know that he wants to be the voice of the people. He wants to know that the people are being heard. And so, is it safe to say that you're running to really be a representative of the common people?
Yeah. My job, my interpretation of my job as a representative is to hear the voices of the people and make it loud in there. Like we can't keep ignoring the people. My job, or as I've interpreted my job, is to make sure that people understand you have at least one guy in here that believes in the power of your voice and wants to do something about it.
Now, you heard it here first. He believes in the power of your voice, but he cannot hear your voice if you don't vote.
Absolutely. You can also reach out to me, jeffforcolorado.com. Jeff Livingston for Colorado.com. I don't think I should give my cell phone out.
No. If you guys are up to date, you can send messages straight from your phone. If not, you can tell Gemini or ChatGPT to do it, to reach out to Jeff Livingston for Colorado.
Correct.
And again, I just think it's important for people to understand that your elected officials are citizens, and their concerns should be aligned with your concerns. And if you want to know, you can come here, you can reach out to them, but we got to get engaged, and you got to get people in office that represent the things that you stand for. If you're out here marching, if you're out here protesting, if you're out here picketing, get a leader that represents those values so that we can escalate the good fight. Sounds good?
Sounds great.
I just want to say thank you again for coming in. Oh, man. Make sure you to like us and follow us on the Concerned Citizen podcast. Is going to be on all platforms. Season 3 is here. Follow us as we go through this whole campaign season, bringing you candidates, bringing you citizens, and bringing you their thoughts, their story, their concerns. Let's go. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Concerned Citizens Podcast. Make sure to hit that subscribe and like button below. Follow us on Facebook or our Facebook group page, The Concerned Citizens Podcast. This is a place where you can meet other like-minded individuals, interact with guests, and request your spot to be on the show. Remember, the Concerned Citizens Podcast is a platform that gives you, the citizen, the freedom to speak to your concerns. Let's go. God bless.